Sixth race, 5 furlongs on the turf, maiden fillies, $25,000, 2-year-olds.
Oh, no.
Now, you got look, exact. Wow. Well, I'll tell you why I like the 10, our Jackie Wacky. Here's what I wanted to ask you about. This is a $50,000 daughter of Wildcat Ave, debuting for Kirk Zadie, who's got 8 local workouts showing. Barn is 44% with first-time starters. Edgar Zayas, leading rider in the saddle. Why run for $25,000 if you paid that much money for this horse?
Well, I think the answer to that lies in the ownership line. Averill Racing Stable. Richard Averill just wants to win races. That's the way it is. I'm intrigued more so by the bottom half of this horse. Wildcat Air bred for speed on the top half. But how about Chef's Choice? She was really, really quick in South Florida. 5 furlongs on turf was her game. Don't want to go on the record to say that she won a stakes race, but I guarantee you she was at least stakes placed. Maybe not in South Florida, but she definitely was a Tampa Bay Downs perennial leader at the 5 furlong turf journey for quite a long time. I love the breeding here. Wildcat Air out of Chef's Choice with an outside draw and Kirk Zadie, who gears them up for speed. Sign me up.
Okay. Number 5, Penry, now in the Louis Oliveira's barn, who was his second. You look at this horse, second in its career debut, sprinting. I was on the Indiana turf, then drops here for the $25,000 level for its local debut, gets Lasix, Carlos Olivero. I just think this horse, or if the performance is back there, going back to the turf, $25,000 drop down is all the things that make this horse look intriguing in this 6th race.
Well, went to the quarter 2 starts ago in 21-2. That turf course can get awful hard in Indiana Downs, but nevertheless, 21-2 over that turf course on or near the lead. If the 10 doesn't go, the 5's in front. That makes her very, very dangerous.
And we also used the 7 horse in here.
Scintillant on the cutback angle that I'm such a big fan of from earlier. This filly has some speed, though. She's another one that's by Wildcat Air. She cuts back here, so she's going to have some bottom. She went favored last time out. The logic last time out was she was going to get an easy lead and keep going. She got an easy lead and stopped on a dime. She definitely doesn't want to go long. She cut back to 5 furlongs for Rodolfo Garcia. Arnie Fontanez takes over here today. Aggressive rider. He'll be sending her, I would imagine. I think that in the case of race number 6 for us, the start of your pick 5s, this is a race where one of the 3 horses that are on your screen, the 5, 7, or 10, they need to be the speed of the speed. If we have a 3-headed duel on the top end, we're going to be in trouble.
Yeah, somebody's going to come from behind. Let's go to our 7th race this afternoon. 6 furlongs, fillies, 2-year-olds, claimers. Going to show you a video, and it's race number 2 from October 10th, and it's the 4 horse of that day. Slindenberg rallying 4 wide to finish 4th, beaten 1.5 lengths. And the reason I'm showing this, I see a lot of speed in here, Pete, and I just think this horse is going to end up sitting a pretty nice trip behind the speed in here today.
Lay It On Me is also in this race. She's back there from the inside. There she is in the orange and red colors. Slindenberg chipping away on the outside. That's her in the white blinkers as from the 4-post. Look at Lay It On Me finishing well there. Lay It On Me is actually making ground on Slindenberg. Lay It On Me made my ticket. Lay It On Me made your ticket. Now, I want to ask you, do you have a strong opinion in this race?
No, I do not.
I do not either. I think this is a race where you might have to go all. I use the 3 on top Gold Value strictly on the strength of something that I learned back in July at Gulfstream Park. Jockey Jose Valdivia, who rides this horse here this afternoon, he rode the horse in the debut. He was pretty high on this filly when she ran the first time for trainer Diane Marici. Switched Barnes to Lonnie Arterburn. Jose got the return call on Gold Value, and she took him start to finish. I'm going to go with the fact that this horse might be a little bit better than her form looks, and that her last race was a more true test of her racing aptitude. I think she has a chance here. She's going to be a good price, and this race does not, and I do repeat, does not have any standouts.
No, I agree with everything you said about both the 4-horse and the 3-horse. The reason I used them on my tickets, I just thought that, Gold Value facing winners. They broke from post 10 in that race, too, and led every step of the way. It was a really nice performance, and as you mentioned, that's 2 in a row for the trainer-jockey combination.
Well, there's a scratch here. Scratch number 5, Media Rules. That's a key scratch. She was a key contender in the race. So now it's just a 6-horse field. So if you can come up with a single in the pick 5, which I can, I'll buy this race at just 6 horses deep, and I don't care who wins. I'll just be happy that I'm alive through this race.
Well, let's go to our 8th race, 7.5 furlongs on the turf. These are state-bred maidens, 2-year-olds, and I want to show you a video of a horse that had a little trouble at the gate, was iPhone addiction, and then came on and closed pretty nicely in the stretch. You'll see at the start here, gets bopped around a little bit, Pete, and then comes on in the stretch. I want to just show you that start. Gets shuffled back there a little bit. Not, you're not too bad, but, it's got to be back placing, got to move through, and then you see the horse closing here in the stretch. It runs really, really nice, and that's why I put the horse on top of my ticket.
Well, I want to actually. Yeah, I was going to say that looked like Diamondback down inside to me. It is. Diamondback was a horse for Mike Trombetta, who was favored the 7 that day. The winner, Unsaintly, as you can see, is 25-1. iPhone Addiction runs by Diamondback in the late stages. Diamondback came back to run on a race that was originally scheduled for the turf. It was on the main track, ran no good, but that doesn't necessarily translate into the fact that this race is in some form not live, because I use the 2 on top as well, iPhone Addiction. I'm intrigued by something, though. I have 6 horses marked on my racing form to use in my pick 5, and the 8 and the 9 are not one of those 6 horses. So if I listen to you, I have to go 8 deep here.
Well, number 9, A Quick Bet, is making its first start back for trainer Mike Maker after getting beat in neck going a mile in the 16th. It was over at Gulfstream. It was back on August 30th. Mike Maker really good with horses coming off the layoff of 61 to 180 days. So I just think this is a logical choice. Connections alone make you want to give it a second look. And if you follow jockeys, you'll see that Jesus Rios will ride the 2-horse, and Prado is going to the number 9, A Quick Bet. So I just think that, he rides first call for Maker during the summertime here. So I used a quick bid on him. And the 8 Overseer, I think, should move forward after stalking the pace, flattening out, finished 4th in its career debut. Bill White, almost 20% with maidens making his second start. Edgar Zayas in the saddle. What, do you got to get hit in the head with a rock?
Well, your point is well taken there. I have to use the 8 Overseer. How did I not list that? That was an oversight on my part. The 9 horse is a bit quick, by the way, or dyslexia is kicking in again for Mr. Nicoletti. Another horse to use in the race. This is a spread race because it's a tough race, and I'm going to give you a couple price horses to use. The 5, Jacob's Way. He finished 3rd last time behind Platinum Prince. Platinum Prince is a pretty well-regarded horse for trainer Harry Benson, bred to be pretty nice and won like a good thing when he broke his maiden that afternoon. The 2nd place horse that day, Amaze, came back to win, and Jacob's Way was 3rd that afternoon, off the speed and rallying at 17-1. A step forward for Kathleen O'Connell gets this horse a big chance. Another horse that has a big chance here today is number 6. Are you trying to check and see that you in fact typed that incorrectly?
I typed it incorrect.
Trust me, pal. I call the races here. I got you covered. Another horse here is number 6, Royal Grant. Royal Grant gets on the turf for the 2nd time, was 3rd last 2 starts ago. That was against Nutty Fuddy. Nutty Fuddy was thought highly enough to bring to Saratoga to run against graded stakes horses on the turf. So that race dopes out pretty good. Royal Grant is a horse. He's a big, long striding horse. He looks like he wants to go long. He doesn't have much of a turn of foot, but he does get a rider switch here to Leandro Gonsalves, who's a very, very good turf rider. This race, tough. Got to go for prices here. I'll spread City here in race number 8, and I will not use the 9, who is not a quick bit. It's a bit quick.
Yeah, I typed it wrong. I was looking back thinking it was crazy. I wanted to ask you about the 10 in there, Black Martino. He didn't run badly last time. I just didn't know what to do with him. I was, torn whether to add him to my ticket. And this horse, they thought a lot of this horse, really hasn't panned out. Now I'm going to try the turf for the first time today.
Well, listen, the company lines on Black Martino are huge because he was 2nd, or rather he was 4th 2 starts ago behind Golden Actor, and then he was 3rd behind Golden Actor last time. Who is Golden Actor and why does he matter? Golden Actor won a stake race at Delta Downs over the weekend, the John Lafitte Futurity $100,000 race, beat a pretty solid field and did it like a good thing. Is going to wheel back into the Delta jackpot to go for the big money in just a couple of weeks. Black Martino, the key is here, does he get the turf? That was what I didn't know about, but he is definitely a horse that has some intrigue.
Yeah, I mean, that was exactly my question. I didn't know if he'd get the turf, or they're just looking for a spot, or they're planning to go to the turf with this horse. But I think if you're going deep in these exotic wagers, you might want to throw that horse in too.
Yeah, I wouldn't argue with you. He's not on my 6 horses either. So maybe I have to buy 2 races here. It's not looking like an affordable pick.
Yeah, it's getting expensive for you.
But good news is, as we move to the 9th race, we get a lot cheaper here because here's the solid single of the day. If she wins, I lose. Number 1. If she loses, I lose, I should say.
A quick bit.
Yeah,
it's
right.
the same thing.
If she wins, I'm all set. Number 1, Sortaria. She blew a big lead last time out behind Spa Town Parade, who was dropping in class for Randy Persad. All she has to do is run back to that last race, and she wins here, and I think she wins pretty easy.
He's so excited about that pick. He didn't let me tell you what kind of race it was. 7 furlongs,
Doesn't
fillies and
matter.
mares, 3-year-olds and up, $6,250. Non-winners of 3 in life. I also used the 1 horse on top for all the reasons you mentioned, but I also used the number 2 Lady from Havana, who's stretching out to 7 furlongs. Previous winner at this distance, encountered a little bit of traffic at the half-mile pole, finished 4th, beaten 3 3/4 lengths. I don't think anybody's going to beat Solitary, and if I were you doing the same thing, I would single that horse. I just thought the 2 Lady from Havana might be able to grab a pair a piece of the a piece of the exactor, a trifecta, along with the 7 BL's Dream. Now you got me all mixed up. Of course, I said a bit quick instead of a quick bit.
I think that last one was far worse of an error. Anyway, let's continue with our analysis of race number 9. The 3 BB Valentine is a horse that will be coming from off the speed. One race, 4 starts back. I think if Sortaria loses, it's going to be because of a compromised pace scenario or a lack of a good ride. I think that she's just going to sit off of the horses like Lady from Havana and Hard Knocking Lady and kick on with it. If she doesn't, maybe the 3 BB Valentine is a horse who's going to be a big number, might be able to get first run on the closers. The other closer in the race is the horse who you use third, number 7 BL's Dream. She's 2 for 55. I'm proud to report, though, that I was on the bandwagon at a juicy 5-2 when she won her second race. Ramsey Zimmerman takes over the riding assignment for Angel Medina. This horse knows one way of running. It's drop back and make one run. If the pace somehow gets muddled in the early stages, she could do it. But I think Sortaria sits off of Lady from Havana and Hard Knocking Lady and then bids the field a good afternoon, turning for home.
Okay. Let's go to our final race of the afternoon. 5 furlongs on the turf. Maiden claimers, fillies and mares, 3-year-olds and up, 12,500. Scratch the 3 Azur. And want to note, this is no easy way to end the day. And what do we have up there? I have the 8. You have the number 6. I went with Patrona Elizabeth.
I did not. If she wins, I lose. Now, I did say that correctly. If this filly wins, I lose. I do not like her at all here.
I thought she was game in defeat. She broke from post 11, dueled for the lead throughout, finished second. She was only beaten a half length. What don't you like?
To be honest with you, I don't like the races that she's coming out of. She lost to Moonlight Salsa 2 starts ago, and a race that perhaps will go on record as the slowest 5-furlong race in the history of Gulfstream Park. 5/8 and 101. Came back against just a suspect cast of horses. Megan's Holiday ran yesterday. She didn't run all that well, and Patrona Elizabeth had every opportunity to win that race and got run down by Megan's Holiday. Our Bar Lady was third that afternoon. Again, I'm going with the same theory in each of these maiden claiming races. If there's horses that has been repeatedly losing, I don't care how good they're running, if they're getting beaten the same level over and over and over against the same fields over and over and over, let them beat me. She probably will. I don't care. I'm not playing her. I'm using a long shot on top, number 6, Princessa Del Mar. She makes her second start off a long layoff. She was only beaten 5 lengths behind those same horses that beat me. You beat me last time. That's fine. Patrona Elizabeth and Our Bar Lady both beat Princessa Del Mar, but Princessa Del Mar has a big license to improve today. Arnie Fontanez takes the ride back. She adds blinkers here this afternoon. I'll have to out-sprint you early, but I have a strong conviction that if I can get within shouting range of Patrona Elizabeth, I will beat Patrona Elizabeth, and I'm certainly going to try in race number 10.
Well, we both have the number 2, Our Bar Lady, on a ticket, along with the 1 Wildcat Bouquet. Now, not a bad turf debut for that one. At the distance, she stalked the pace. She was 5th, beaten only 2 3/4 lengths. Tom Schell is the trainer. John Delgado handling that inside post this afternoon. And I know you have this horse second on the ticket. I thought she went pretty nice in that first start on the grass.
I don't necessarily disagree, but to be honest, I don't think much of the race she's coming out of either. Blonde Diva literally backed into the wind when Sharp Speed of Jupiter Tasmania ducked in, leaving the gap there on our turf course. It was not a strong race. Wildcat Bouquet took a step up in terms of figures, took a step up in terms of quality of an effort. So I think from a standpoint of the fact that she's only had 2 races, she can continue to improve. She's going to need to improve to win this, but she does have a shot. She makes her rider switch to John Delgado. That's quite all right with me.
As we mentioned at the top of the show, this is a carryover type day. We got carryovers in all our exotic wagering today, so it should be a lot of fun. You heard Pete and I's how we thought the card might play out today. We're not in much agreement. That's usually a good sign for one of us.
Well, I can tell you that my bankroll will be in full use. I think yours has moss on it the last time. But hey, listen, this is a very, very bettable card. We said that yesterday, and we were right yesterday. We just were wrong about who you were supposed to bet.
Wait, I had the early pick 4. I gave it out on my ticket right there, paid $157, and I even had the dead heat winner in one race, so you got twice the amount of money.
I'm not going to go there. We have people watching. But anyway, the point of the story is at the end of the day, I had ended my afternoon with more money than I started. I guarantee that did not happen with you. That's just reality. I'm not taking a shot. Facts are facts. And speaking of facts, you have big incentive to play today's Pick 6, $50,000 guaranteed in the jackpot pool. Big incentive to play the Pick 5 with a carryover of $6,000. That'll bring out a lot of the players here today, as you touched on. It's a competitive sequence of races. If Sortari Sortaria gets beat, it's boxcars. If Sortaria wins, it still has a chance to be an IRS variety pick 5 and a pick 6 that has a chance to go today, in my view, because the races surrounding Sortaria's race, and she's going to be the most heavily favored of all the sequence races, those races very, very, very competitive, as we touched on here today.
That's about it. I can't say add anything to that, and if I did, we'd be out of time. So, Pete, have a good day and good luck today.
Thank you, sir.
We'll see you guys later.
A Breeders' Cup tomorrow, Friday afternoon, Breeders' Cup action. Remember, you can play the Breeders' Cup Saturday races tomorrow here at Gulfstream Park and Gulfstream Park West. So if you're not available on Saturday or you just want to make sure you don't change your mind, we will have full card action available for Breeders' Cup Saturday when Breeders' Cup Friday gets underway tomorrow from Santa Anita Park.
Good luck, everybody.